A good Tuesday afternoon. We've got a nice big baseball slate, a nice big basketball slate. I am not going to be playing basketball, but I do have some takes I'll drop in and we'll cover that stuff. Feel free to ask any questions as we go. Want to remind everybody we've got some awesome deals right now, yearly packages, monthly packages that we feel are basically as competitive as any in the industry. We've got a similar price to SaberSim and we have all the SaberSim stuff. We've got all of my content, all of Rody's content, Sheets' projections, Goldie's projections, all of Brandon Cruz with the NASCAR stuff is awesome. And then obviously we do the esports as well with Chan when it's more in season. So a lot of stuff you guys can take advantage of there. MLB 24 is the code, and join us today. So with that said, let's get into this slate. Let's talk a little bit about what we're doing. Other people are a little more decided at pitcher than I am today. I'm having a hard time not being a little bit spread out. And let's just go through it in terms of ownership and just talk about where we want to be in relation to the field. I'm mostly using Rodon for single entry stuff. I don't know, man. Even that feels a little shady. I'm going to be under the field still on this 30% plus ownership. I'll probably be underweight that a little bit. I'm going to be near the field on Glass now, probably just a little bit above the field on Eovaldi. I'll probably be just a little above the field on Wheeler, probably close to the field. I don't have any Musgrove right now for what it's worth. I am probably going to force in some Sandoval, but I currently don't have any. Bassett, I'm probably going to be double the field. I like taking shots with Bassett here. I think this is a little bit overlooked spot, and I think that Bassett could end up being the highest scoring pitcher on this slate. So I really like Bassett to get, a little bit different in terms of pitching. I have, I'll be a little bit above on Savale and probably a little bit above on all these guys. Merrill Kelly, Kyle Harrison, Cole Reagans, probably get like 10%-ish of these guys, including even a little bit of Ronaldo Lopez, just because I don't feel like anybody stands out so much. And I don't care what the numbers say or what the things are. I'm going to play some Ben Brown. Assuming that he actually is a starting pitcher, or even if he's not, if we think he's going to come in long relief, I'm probably going to use Ben Brown today at 4K just a little bit because it allows me to stack the Dodgers and Arizona and just get different. I also think Harrison has enough upside as another play. I mentioned Cole Reagans in a tough matchup, but I like the pitcher a lot. So those are the guys that's sort of how I'm doing it in terms of above, below ownership wise. I'm looking at my stacks right now, and the Dodgers are my highest owned stack. If you look at them right now, we're not projecting their ownership because, again, they're expensive. It's hard to get to them too much. So, as I always point out, I love Shohei. I still think in the long run, Mookie's generally the guy I'm going to end up playing more of, partly because the shortstop, second base eligibility, whereas first base and outfield are much stronger. But I have Mookie. I like Mookie. I like Shohei. I like everybody in the lineup basically. And I will be well overweight the Dodgers stack. That's the one I'm going with today. My second highest owned stack, unfortunately, I can be a little chalkier, right? Because I'm going to have like some mini stacks and some 3-mans with these other spots. If I'm using the Dodgers, I'm already getting a little bit different. So going to Arizona's side of things, I'll be underweight the 5-man stacks, but probably similar to ownership of these players. Did I click on both Arizona and Texas? No. What did I click? Oh, I thought I clicked on Arizona. Just was general. Arizona, obviously, I'm using them more for fillers. I think it's a great spot. I do have some 5-man stacks, but where I'm 5-man stacking, I'm getting different and using like Kirby as a pitcher, who I didn't really mention, but that's one way you can get a little different using their stacks. Using Ben Brown is another way to get different. So that's the way you can play these stacks, but my ownership may end up similar. I'll probably be under McCarthy. I love Suarez. The problem is that's one place I can spend down at third base with the Texas guys. So I think that Grichuk, Suarez, and Blaze, and McCarthy, along with Blaze, are my least owned. And then the other ones I'm probably going to end up near the field with. So that's another one. Texas being another one that's pretty popular. Again, you have some really good pricing. You've got 3 Texas guys, all in the look at this third base. You've got all the value: Josh Smith, Ezekiel Duran, and Davis Wenzel. I will be playing some of each of those guys a decent amount. I mean, right now I have, I think, Duran and Wenzel a ton, but I'm going to add some Josh Smith. Prefer Wyatt Langford if I had to pick, one of the value outfielders. Simeon's going to be one of the most popular plays. I have no problem with it, especially with Marte out. I think he's going to be really chalky. But Texas is another one that I'm going to be overweight on. I do have some Giant stacks, and I think it's going to be low ownership against Adon. I think there's some upside here. Again, I prefer it if you use them as a complementary, because it's not like this is the highest power offense or it's a great stadium to hit in or anything like that. But I do think that they are viable enough as a 5-man, and I am using them a little bit there. I also think the Yankees at very little ownership. You just put any lefty against the Yankees for me when they're in Yankee Stadium against this lineup, I'm probably going to have some interest, and I think that's a really, really good sneaky stack. So those are my main stacks. There are some other ones that I like, but I just didn't. I wrote this on the wrong thing. Other ones would be Atlanta, and that would be my next favorite one. I think I would go Atlanta as my my last one that I'd be willing to use. So going to that position, obviously, it's going to have a lot to do with stacks. You look, Moreno is one I don't mind eating a little chalk on that. Same with Heim. My next highest owned is Langoliers. So I'm playing the top 3 projected catchers in terms of ownership a fair bit, just because I can afford to. Will Smith, obviously, you can get into some Dodger stacks. You probably, have to figure out some things to do and use some value there, but I do think Will Smith is totally reasonable. And I think that Keibert Ruiz would be the other guy I would look at as a one-off against Harrison. They're probably batting cleanup tonight, depending on what they do with their lineup, of course. First base, Christian Walker is the most popular. I'm actually very into Ohtani and Freeman. Freeman at really low ownership, so those are the 2 that I'm using the most. I do have a lot of Lamont and Wade would be the next most owned for me. And again, Olsen in your Atlanta stacks. I don't mind Pete Alonso as a one-off, assuming that game is all good to play. And those are sort of the main guys I'm looking at today. So this is Cam coming in right away. I agree. And by the way, so the best Savale is definitely a reasonable option for what it's worth. And Bill Miller is behind the plate, who's the best pitcher's umpire in baseball, if you wanted to use a little extra reason to like Savale. So I'm totally good. He's not a guy I usually roster on big slates in DFS. No issue with Savale today. Totally with it, Cam. No problem. If I'm doing a single entry or 3 max, is it going to be a little chalkier than normal? Yes. In general, you want your single entry 3 max. You want to represent more your favorite plays. Not necessarily. You don't need to get different in every spot. You can eat a little more chalk for the single entry at 3 max. Good question there, Z. But yes, absolutely. Other first baseman I have, I'm going through my exposures and seeing who else I'm using here. Freeman, Ohtani are my highest owned, followed by Walker, Wade, JD Davis, Gallo, Matt Olson. That's the order I've got them right now. Second base. I got to like the Simeon play, but I'm actually going to be under just because I think the ownership might even snowball to be like into the 20s. But I mean, he's a great play. I didn't get to much of the Vargas. I do like Labor in those Yankee stacks. And my highest owned ones, though, are going with my Dodger stacks. It's Gavin Lux and Mookie Betts. But, of course, Betts is more at shortstop than for the most part, Betts is more at shortstop than second base for me. Third base, you see Suarez really popular. Again, I like Suarez a lot, but I like the other third baseman. So my third base is going to be Wenzel, Duran, and Smith are going to be the majority of my third baseman. Then you're going to have some Suarez, some JD Davis, some Matt Chapman, and Riley in stacks. Shortstop. Jace Peterson obviously makes a ton of sense, getting in there batting 6th at 3,100. So I have Peterson and Betts as my highest owned, followed by Volpe, Ahmed, Correa. Correa I only have a little bit of, but just wanted to get a little different in a couple spots. He's cheap enough just to get a little less Volpe exposure. I already did catch it. What am I doing? I'm going back to outfield. All right. So for outfield, my highest owned are Ohtani, Peterson, Carroll, Wade, Taylor, Chris Taylor. Then Wyatt Langford, Grichuk, Blade, McCarthy, Outman, Evan Carter, Adelis Garcia, Verdugo, Judge, Stanton. You get the picture, basically, along with my stacks. But outfield is loaded. So if you can find a way to stack on the infield, I think that getting some outfielders like Judge, like Stanton, are really, really good 1/2 offs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm with you, Kim. See, here's what's happening. So like last night when Atlanta, I finished when I should have. I really wish I would have won that 250. I really wanted to win it. I played the one entry. I finished fifth, and would have been nice to get the 20K. But still a good night anyway. But you notice Atlanta was more popular because people decided in the end not to spend up on pitching. Now, if they spend up on pitching, it's really hard to play. If you spend up on pitching, it's really hard to play the Dodgers. It's really hard to play Atlanta in a way that you want to. So that's the reason why they haven't been playing them as much. I don't think that anybody thinks it's a weak offense, but they're going to be low owned because I just think there's other options today that people are going to go with that are more affordable. And I love the idea of getting to my low owned Dodgers. Volpe has been on fire. And by the way, we might be seeing a little bit of Volpe turning into himself. We know this guy's got talent. We know this guy's got talent. Sorry, I just had to let my son know what I was doing. I'm in on the Yankees idea, but my favorite still being the Dodgers. Dodgers, Yankees at low ownership. It can't be that bad, right? Like it has to be the right thing to do. And I've had a really good start to the baseball season without having the giant wins. I keep getting, fifth was like last night was a good win. I mean, I 5x or 6x my entry, maybe more than that, but my entry fees. But haven't got that big one yet. And I think that I'm doing the right things to get that big one by playing these lower owned stacks, and we're going to get that. We do, Cam. We need the Dodgers-Yankee World Series. I would love it. I would absolutely love it. For those of you who don't know, my family is from, my origins are from Brooklyn. My grandfather moved out the same year the Dodgers did to California, to LA. He's been a massive Dodger fan. Was at Jackie Robinson's first minor league games. It's a way of life for me, the Dodgers and the family. But the Dodgers and Yankees would be a really fun throwback for some of the older folks to see while they're still alive, and for some of us to finally see it who haven't really been old enough to watch a good Dodger-Yankees World Series, because the last one that happened was it the year I was born? It might have been. Any love for bets? I love bets. Yeah, absolutely. Let's play Mookie Betts. I'm in on the Dodgers, so you guys know where I'm at. Sure, they're going to have some games where they don't get there. It's what it is, but I think you take your edges where you can, and you see this massive ownership all going towards Arizona, Texas, and actually Oakland a little bit. It's just worth it to play these Dodgers and these Braves in these situations. And I think the Dodgers and Braves are both awesome stacks today. And I'm happy and the Yankees. And I'm happy if you tell me, hey, look, you know what? You have to take the low ownership so you can play the Dodgers, Yankees, and Braves. Let's go. I'm in on that all day. I'm never going to feel bad about it regardless of what happens in the results. At least on a one-night basis. I can maybe do a long look if things go badly, but off to a good start. We're going to keep rolling with what we've got working so far. For those of you who are members, I did upload my current exposure into the Discord. Check that out. TJ asking a question that I led off with. I am higher on Bassett than most people are. I like using Bassett here. So I am playing him, TJ. Now, there is some buyer beware. Be a little careful. He's got the leash. You've got the high strikeout Mariners. I'm in on this Bassett thing. And just like I heard everybody talk about on every other show, what a terrible play last night Jose Barrios was, they can go F themselves because they were wrong. I was right, at least yesterday. Anyway, that's somewhat of a joke. All right, I'm going to switch over to basketball. Feel free to ask any baseball questions. We'll go to basketball. We'll run a build because I'm really finding that throughout the MLB stuff, I don't need to run as many sims. I just don't feel like we have it proven to have worked and all these things. There's a lot more that it seems to help with in basketball, partly because the actual ownership is really important. So let's do a basketball thing really quickly. Look, it's a huge slate. There's so many value spots to see. You can look at the value and see how many guys are valued over 5X. It's what, 70 guys over 5X. This is the most you'll ever see. You just can't get many more guys. So I'm not going to poke huge holes in what's right or wrong. If Cornette starts, I'm comfortable with that one. I actually like him better than I like Gill as a value piece. Again, they're all kind of cringy. I like the upside for Mamu. I'll go with that one. Okay. I do think you're playing one of Baldwin, Omari, and Gill. I'll go Baldwin personally. Again, plenty of other options, plenty of other ways to build, but these are the guys who I would be going with today. Other spots, let's go back to, you've got the Jordan Goodwin. I think that's probably something I would do, to be honest. I think he'll have the reins and all that stuff. And then let's talk about some spend ups. look, Luka is always going to be the one I think I would want to get to. Still playing for games that matter. It is Charlotte, which is unfortunate because they could smoke him. Even if they do, Luka probably still gets the minutes. I think I would go ahead and make Luka my priority at the very top. Jalen Brunson, this is very strange because Jalen Brunson at 9,200 versus Chicago, we've seen this happen twice. He was like 1% owned, and now he's projected to be like way more. It's just interesting. People are funny. I like De'Aaron Fox a lot. I think I would actually go Fox a tiny bit ahead of Brunson, just given the matchup. But I don't think you absolutely have to play either of them. And I also like Halliburton, but I worry about the game staying close again. So all these 9K ranges is what you're doing or playing Luka, in my opinion. I'm going to side on the current because of the amount of value that we're going to go with Luka. So that would be my core right here, and I'm just going to show it for nothing right now. It goes to the end. You can always drag it over. It's just an API step where it will have from SaberSim by the end of hopefully by the end of the month. So this shouldn't be a problem. We'll have Sheets' projections. Sheets' projections are all up on the site. They're just not loading to SaberSim, so you're having to manually load it. We're going to have all that stuff fixed for you guys real soon. But so that would be like a baseline of my core tonight of what I'm doing basketball-wise. Oh, with Maxey ruled out. I didn't adjust to Maxey being ruled out. Let me just take a quick look here. I'm not sure if the projections have either. They're at home versus Detroit. You worry about the game. They're still trying to work Embiid in. I think Embiid is probably the right answer. Who do we get? DeAnthony Melton, I guess, would be the one, assuming that he plays. And Buddy Hield. It's one of these guys is going to pop. I just don't know which one it's going to be right now and who's going to start. I'm going to take a quick look. I mean, assuming Melton plays, I think it's just Melton. If Melton doesn't play, you just play Campaign. So I'm going to add that to my core too. Let's just do that really quick because I do think that assuming that he plays, we should be good as long as there's no minutes thing. But that's what I've got for right now. Let's get out of Philadelphia and go to the whole core. So those would be the guys I'd be working throughout my lineups. Let's talk about some mid-tier plays that are interesting. I'm not as into the Rudy Gobert as I've heard some other people talk about it today. Not as much for me. I think Siakam back in Toronto. Let's play some Siakam back in Toronto. Maybe we just do it. It's such a good matchup. It's back in Toronto. You got the narrative and the matchup. A lot of good stuff there. Same with Jimmy Butler in Atlanta. These are other middling. You got the 9K guards and the 8K forwards. And these would just sort of be things I would be shifting in and out of my lineups. But, I think I've given you like the 15 plays that I like the most tonight. And I think you can take it from there. Cam said, love people watching people play Darvish over Barrio with the 33% K rate for the righties for the Mariners. I was with you, Cam, and I said it on it. I was like, okay, I guess because everyone's telling me in one of my single entries, I'll throw a Darvish thing in there. But by the end of it, Darvish was my lowest owned of any of the pitchers I used, and I used like 10 of them. So I had him like 5%. I didn't go for the full fade, but it was basically a full fade. And I was really, really happy with the results because one thing I did get right what they did is they played Darvish over Gallen. And I just think Gallen, I mean, look, he got hit. And he still put up 20 because he had 10 strikeouts. He would have got the win too, but they just couldn't hold the lead. And 10 strikeouts in 5 innings. So I like the Gallen thing too. I'm with you, Cam. I was really, really happy to see that. All right, guys. Let's talk baseball. Let's talk basketball. Kenny Hyder and I, you guys know Kenny. We're going to be doing a Masters first look after this. I'm really heavily invested in the Masters. Golf has been very good to me. The one sport that has been over the last calendar year. So I'm going to keep rolling with it. And actually, football's been really good for me as well, too. So I'm not going to say just that. And look, we got Leonidas in chat just popping out that Alonso is due, calling it now. I agree with that. I mentioned a little bit of something to that earlier, but I'm with Leonidas here on that one. All right, guys, let's switch over back to, we'll do a build for basketball if you guys want to. Oh, you guys, yeah, absolutely, Devon. I'm going to be overweight Texas to fill you in. I definitely am overweight the Texas side of things here. Yeah, I'm in on the Texas stuff. And do you guys want to run a basketball build or a baseball build? I'll let you decide. The first person to answer gets to decide what we run a build on. And the first person to say what tournament we run a build on with the sim, that's what we'll do. So first person to decide whether we do basketball or baseball, and then we have the first person to decide which tournament to do after the basketball and baseball. So let's see what you guys have. What do you guys want to see tonight a simulation built of? And for what tournament? And how many do we want to see? That's another thing. I like to do, sometimes I like to do one, sometimes I like to do 20. So So throw it out there. Look, are you guys really not disengaged? Come on, what's going on to my people? You guys are usually so responsive and active. I know it's baseball. It's not the same as basketball. I know we have basketball and people are kind of whittling out, getting out of it for the most part. But come on, we can at least decide what kind of tournament we want to run a simulation on for free here. Let's do it. If not, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to leave. Just like that. Going to leave. All right. All right. The people have spoken. We will not be running a simulation today. I'm going to thank everybody for their time. I'm going to update my baseball core, and it's just going to be a couple different things. Let me just go to it because I had Marte in there to start off with. And actually, I like most of the rest of it. I don't think you need that. I think these are reasonable as cores go. Yeah, I think that I still agree with most. I put Bassett on there. Look, I'm willing to take some risks. So I am. Oh, that's weird. I hit the wrong button. The wrong one. Let's just save this so we have an updated core, and then I'll update it for the users pretty soon. Oh, so Jolly said basketball, so now I've got to go back to it. But you didn't say the tournament. So now whoever says the tournament first, whether it's baseball or basketball, say the tournament. We'll run a simulation for that, and we'll close the show on that and see what we get. But so Mad King, so which baseball one? Jolly, quick, get the basketball tournament you want to see run a simulation for. We want to get that out there. In the meantime, I'm realizing that I also have to adjust my FanDuel lineup at some point because I don't know if everybody is necessarily playing, which is a good reason to adjust it. All right, nobody's giving me a tournament. I don't know how I can run a simulation without a tournament. Give me the tournament. All right, I'm just going to decide one, and we're going to run this. But you can't just say 50K to first. What does that even mean? You have to look through and see which tournament's 50K for first. Okay, I'm going to guess that's going to be the lottery today. So we'll just say the fadeaway. Yeah, okay, let's just do that. Okay, then we'll run one ball for one for King for Leonidas. Of course, we'll run the ball for Leonidas. Wouldn't have helped anybody last night because they gave you terribleness. Hopefully, you guys got a little bit of my stuff because it was a pretty fire night. If I would have played some bigger tournaments, who knows? All right, so let's see. We're going to run the basketball one first, 20. Let me just do this, and oops, we'll just make this 60. Just make this 66. I think it's 65 is too low anyway. Okay, so let's see what they give us. All right, and then we'll do the ball four after this. Sorry, Mad King. I think we're gonna go do the ball four because Leonidas said it, and he's a good dude. He's a member, so gotta give my man Leo some help here. How do I pronounce it, Leo King? Tell me how to pronounce the name. I've talked with you off and on for like 8 years now, and I still don't know. I say Leonidas because that's the way my brain wants to see it. But what is it? What is it for? What does it mean? Maybe you can tell me some other time. You don't have to do it today while we're still building lineups. But we're about to see what it gives us for basketball, and then we're going to see what it gives us for baseball afterwards. Who do we think is going to be 100%? You think they're going to make Gil 100%? I don't think so because there's so many other value plays. Maybe though they do. It's just a little too. They're so high on his value. Yeah, I'm saying it right. Yeah, all right. I love that I'm saying it right. Thanks. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's do the ownership. By the way, for those of you guys who aren't, Goldies are at the back. You can move them over as well. We're going to fix this with the API by the end of the month. With the API from Saberson by the end of the month, to where we're going to be able to see our stuff a little bit easier, as well as sheets, projections, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let's see what we've got, and we're going to go to exposure. Wow, they went heavy on the Luka. Oh no, that was Luke Cornett. Wait, no, they went heavy on Luka. Let's see. You got Luka at 95%, so they agreed to be Cornett. They've got Gill at 100%. Again, I do not think you have to play Anthony Gill, but I totally understand. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just trying to find ways to get different in my brain. Malachi Branham, that's a little too high for me. 90% at 13. I think it's a little high. I like Goodwin. I agree with that percentage. I agree with Mamu. Bridges, that feels a little ambitious, but no, you know what? Play Luka with Bridges on the other side. I think it makes enough sense, but I still like Siakam. Oh, they've got Siakam just almost as much. De'Aaron Fox, who I mentioned. You see the Brunson ownership. Yeah, this is pretty makes a lot of sense to me. The guys they use to get they didn't really use any major differentiator. Gobert, Wendell Carter are the two single-digit ones that they use, so it's interesting. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. That's a good reason, Leon, to have that name. I like all that a lot. That's funny. So we're probably similar age. You're a little bit younger than me, I think. That's interesting. I always pictured you as being younger than me, but I think we're closer than I thought in age. All right, let's do a quick one for baseball and see what we get. I'm curious how it goes. We'll do the ball four as Leo asked for. Let's do this, and we will go ball four. Someone, where is it? There it is. And we're gonna just, for argument's sake, we'll just run 4 when we do it. Let's run 4, and let's see what we get. You can go bigger gap than this in baseball in general. Maybe not in this tournament as much, but like other tournaments, you certainly can go. You don't need to keep it within 1,000. No problem, Leo. So no problem, Jolly. Happy to help anytime I can. And I still have 4 more minutes before I have to finish my builds and then get ready for the Masters preview show, which I'm really pumped about with my buddy Kenny. So yeah. Oh yeah, Leo's a good bit younger than me. 33 was a great year for me, man. I hope it's a great year for you as well. That's one of my favorite years in my lifetime. Turning 34, so you've only got a little bit of time left to enjoy that 33. But hey, maybe your 34 will be better than my 34. Who knows? All right, let's see what we've got here. I should have run 2,000, probably not 5,000. See what comes up. I am curious to see how much of the. I think it's going to be heavier on Arizona because we're doing the ball 4. If you run the lottery, it wouldn't be there as much. Yeah, Leah, let's. Why don't we get you a win here? All right, let's see what we got. See, Sheets is much better at dead air time. He's much more okay with it than I am. Oh, they like the Phillies, which I didn't get to myself. So let's see the exposure. Let's see the team stacks. Wow, 100% Oakland exposure. Okay, let me see how many of that is 5-man. So 75%. So 3 out of the 4, Philadelphia 5-man. They want Oakland for all the value. They just said F you to Arizona, to Texas, to the Dodgers. They like Philly and Oakland. So there you go. You have it, Philly and Oakland. Let's see what they wanted for pitching. Players, let's go pitcher, and let's do it by who they have the most of. Wow, they just used 3 pitchers: Glasnow, Wheeler, and Sandoval. I think for this kind of tournament, I understand it a little bit, but that's interesting. Wow. Brendan, I'd rather play Cornette slightly, but I think it's close between I think he's a better play than Watson is, but it's close. I really think it's neither would surprise me having a big game. At the moment, I have Cornette higher, but if you wanted to play Peyton Watson instead, I have no issue with that. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here. Please hit the like button on your way out of here. Good luck to everybody tonight. I hope you guys crush it, and let's make some money. Good luck, everybody.